number 13 Demon Street. I am condemned to live here, to suffer on this earth eternally, as a punishment for my sin. It is said that no greater outrage was ever committed by any mortal. But should I find a crime more heinous, my terrible punishment will end.
Are you going to buy something? Or be you just here to waste an old woman's time?
I'm looking for a cat.
Good. I have a mess of them. I have a tortoise-shell one and a black one.
Well, I don't want just an ordinary cat. I want a special kind of cat. A familiar. Yes, that's it, a familiar.
A familiar is a witch's cat. One that's used to cast spells. Are you a believer in such nonsense?
I take it, madam, that you're unable to supply me with a familiar. In that case, I'll trouble you no further. What is it?
If it's a cat for witching you're after, I'll be getting you one. Come with me. Well, you'll be having everything you want here. Faith knows you're thin and weird enough to be a witch's cat, if there was such a thing.
Excellent. How much do I owe you?
You'll be understanding these familiars ain't like regular cats. You hold them against your face, and they tells you things.
Yes, I know. I've read about them.
Then there's the herbs, the special ones, just in case.
Well, thank you all the same, madame, but I think I've got everything now. I've got the candles and the chalk to draw the lines and the dried blood and the herbs and the book of spells.
Aye, you're the most of them, all right. But you be short the needed herbs for the greatest spell of all.
Which is that?
The powders to cast the spell of murder.
But I don't...
Take it, anyway. You never know when it'll come in handy.
Is that you, Hubert?
Yes, dear.
Look, Hubert. It's a bargain, isn't it lovely?
Perhaps less jewelry?
Jewelry. You know what it is like I do. Glass.
I'll get you the best as soon as ever we can afford it.
As soon as we can afford it. A cat?
Yes, I brought one home. I'm going to keep it in the study, dear, for research.
I won't have you bringing cats into my house.
I thought it was our house.
Oh, Hubert, don't be so dull. You know very well what I meant.
Yes, dear.
I warmed over the rest of the lamb for your dinner.
I'm not really hungry. I think I'll go up. including every spell and incantation known to ancient wizards, whereby sorcerers may gain wealth and power.
Here, I brought it up to you. The science of necromancy. Why would any man in his
Look,
right
Florence,
mind...
I've told you 1,000 times, faith is the one thing you must have. You can laugh if you like, but realize that as you do so, you may be costing yourself the money you so badly want.
Nonsense. You, did get your paycheck today, didn't you, darling? I've all kinds of bills to pay for.
And what do I get?
Hubert, don't be such a bore. Hubert, you know I've that new coat to pay for, and you've gone and spent £1. Whatever for?
Well, for the cat. But it's not a cat, really. It's a witch's helper.
You're getting crazier by the day.
Think so?
I'm drunk.
No, you're not. I've learned things. Darling, you can have all the wonderful things you've always wanted, if only I can find the proper spell.
Proper spell? Lord. I married you to get me out of a dull little town to have luxuries you swore you could provide for me. Wealth, clothing, jewels. And what have I got? Nothing.
I'm doing my best.
And I've been such a good wife.
Who's Jeffrey Carter?
I do believe you're jealous.
You wouldn't leave me, would you?
Don't be silly. Of course I wouldn't leave you. You do the incantations and I'll do the dishes.
If only there were incantations powerful enough to make me 20 years younger.
We've got to be very careful. Someone has carried stories to Hubert about us, and you know how jealous he is.
He's justified. Anyone in love with you would be jealous.
Hubert's been fooling around with this magic of his, and it worries me. He does some strange things with the cat, and you know how I hate the creatures. This one seems to be able to read my mind.
So he's got a smart cat. That doesn't qualify him as a warlock, a sorcerer. You know, we spent the last 3 minutes talking about Hubert.
Is this the best thing, my running away with you? What is this?
My address in South Africa. Drop me a line sometime.
You won't wait?
I'm driving to Southampton this evening. Selling the car, boarding the Southern Star. You're more than welcome to come along. In fact, I've done everything in my power to persuade you.
Yes, I know, but how will we manage in a strange country? What will we do for money?
That's the thing I've been trying to tell you. They've offered me a fine position as superintendent of mine down there.
Darling, that's wonderful. Of course, it's hard to hurt Hubert.
So don't. Stay here. And have everything but a man.
All right.
Now that's better. Until tonight, then. The usual place. Don't be late.
I'll be there, darling.
Now, be sure everything's in order before you leave the bank. And do not move till your armed escort is just behind you.
Sir, I've carried the Moorhead payroll hundreds of times. I've been with the bank and your late father for 20 years. Sir, isn't it about time I were considered for a teller's desk?
Ames, in the past, this bank has been run rather inefficiently. Now that I am in charge, we're going to clean out all the deadwood. I don't want more expenses, I want more efficiency.
Then no chance of advancement, sir.
Not at this time. Now, get on with it. Don't take up my time. And Ames, don't walk away from your armed guard like you did last week.
Oh, no, sir. Oh, what's this, darling? No dinner? Naughty girl, you've been out buying things again. I know by that happy glint in your eye.
Hubert, I've something to say to you. It's not something you're going to like, but it's something that must be said.
I know. You're planning to run away with another man. Go off to some foreign country.
How do you know that?
You're not to do it. I won't allow you. Haven't I always given you everything I could?
I suppose you have, but it's not enough. I've decided. I can't wait for your dreams of wealth to come true or for those ridiculous spells to work.
Ridiculous spells, are they? Take a look at this.
Darling, I've misjudged you. Why, there must be £1 million here. Where did you get it?
What difference did it make?
Where, Hubert?
Well, it's the 20th. You know what happens on the 20th of each month.
That is the Moorhead payroll. Whatever possessed you to do it?
I promised you to be rich.
That certainly didn't mean stealing money.
Then you won't come away with me even with the money?
And wind up serving the best years of my life in some prison when they catch us? No thanks.
But I only did it for you!
And do me one last favor, will you? Forget you ever knew me.
If you leave me, I'll kill you and your lover.
Don't make me laugh.
I'll kill him. What? The police. Yes, you're right. They'll be coming here. Something to confuse them. This is it.
Yes? Good, send him in.
Mr. Jennings,
Yes?
I'm Inspector Mallory, Scotland Yard.
How do you do? Won't you sit down?
I'd like some information about Ames.
Well, he's very reliable. He's been with the bank for 20 years. Something must have happened to him. Miss Scott, get me Ames's home phone number. I'll call his wife and tell her to expect someone from Scotland Yard.
Do you think he was kidnapped?
It's the only possibility. He'd hardly plan to steal the Moorhead payroll. Yes? What do you mean you can't find it? There's a personal file with his home phone number and address. Get it.
That's rather strange that they can't find his address.
Probably misfiled it.
Probably. Except that we tried to find our folder on Ames not 5 minutes ago. We couldn't find it either. Well, I'll check with you later, Mr. Jennings. Goodbye.
They can't find the address, can they? Now, you're good at the little things. Let's see how good you are at murder.
So cold. It's almost as if the fog were his creation.
Shut up. I'm sick of Hubert and his black magic. And put away that bottle. It's no wonder you're beginning to see things. Crazy fool shouldn't drive that fast in the fog.
Or was it?
Was it what?
Was it really a truck, or was it another of Hubert's little jokes?
I tell you, there's no such thing as a spell.
Stop! Can't you see it?
See what? Oh, you're drunk.
Look out! We'll be burned to death!
Now listen to me, Flo. I want you to get a hold of yourself. There's nothing out there, I tell you. Nothing at all.
You don't see anything?
Nothing.
Then go ahead, I guess.
But that spell's foolproof. They should have died. All right, so she denied it again. Drew strength for disbelief.
No.
There's no way to kill them now they're on their guard? But there must be a way. Now, what do I do first? You're tricking me. I don't believe it. All right. So it's dangerous. But I got to do it. My eyes! I can't see.
Oh, are we there? Please, please let us be there.
We're almost there, just the road along the cliff, so stop moaning before I lose what's left of my own mind.
Told me he'd kill us and I wouldn't listen. Detour sign.
What?
Point's right. Don't you see it?
You know what's in the fog to the right? Nothing. It's just 200 feet down to the rocks.
Look, there's another one. Detour sign, don't you see it?
What do you know? You've got me doing it now. I see a detour sign. Close your eyes and we'll prove to him his spells don't mean a thing.
At last.